Tokozani, peace and greetings, everyone. My name is Makosi Gogo Ateokonyezi. I am the founder and creator of African Mystery School, Raw Rites of Passage, and all things ancestors. And I am here with the lovely Amy Dawn, one of our student initiates who just went through the process and rites of passage experience known as African Mystery School. Thank you so much for joining me today and just taking some time to share with us your experience that you had in African Mystery School. So welcome, and please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, my name is Amy Dawn Verbe. I have known Makosi for about, I think it's 6 or so years. We met in the Priestess Path apprenticeship through a mutual teacher, mentor, Elisa Starkweather. And that was in Western Massachusetts, which is where I currently live. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you.
You want to hear?
No, I mean, that's pretty much the truth of how we originally connected. I believe I met you. I'm not sure if it was Daughters of the Earth or Priestess Path first.
Or maybe even Women in Power.
Yeah, I think it was Women in Power. If that was the case, then that was at the beginning of my own Sangoma journey. If it was Women in Power, that was literally the weekend that I went in one container to the next. I started my Twaza process. Leaving that weekend, I went straight to my then Gobella's house. So yeah, that was back in 2013. So that was a little more than 6 years ago. Yeah, that we came together and connected. So you've got to see me through a lot of my process and transformation. So thank you so much for joining me and just journeying with me throughout these years and entrusting me with the last 11 months and taking you through this rites of passage. So if I may ask, if you would share a bit about where you were when you decided to join African Mystery School, and really what led you to join and what led you to answer the call of joining African Mystery School.
Well, so that was about a year ago now. So I have a 2.5-year-old, so I've been in this motherhood journey. I think that was a moment where I really felt like I want to do some kind of deep dive for myself, and really take the time to carve out the time and the attention away from obligations, family obligations, and yeah, dive into my personal work. I remember clearly at that time, I felt like I needed a rite of passage. And that was really how the mystery school felt like it was offered as a rite of passage. And so that felt really resonant with me at the time. So yeah, it sort of came up suddenly as like, oh, this is the thing. It wasn't necessarily something I had thought about for a long time. I don't think I knew about it for a long time. I think it was a new program. So yeah, it was just, I had heard about it, and then I just had a moment where I was like, oh, okay, that's the thing.
Of course.
Right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember we may have even had like a bone reading or something where that also, yeah, where Spirit mentioned the need for something deeper for you.
Yep, that's really true. We were working together right before that. We had had a couple of bone readings. I had done a ritual.
That's right.
Yeah, right. That's all coming back to me now, where I had some really deep healing to do. Yeah, wow. I guess I haven't thought about it. I feel like it's still integrating, you know, and
yeah, you guys
time
just
passing.
ended. It's still technically like right at the end. It's not officially closed, so you're
Yeah,
still processing a lot
yeah.
of the mystery. It's still landing. Yeah. So if you could tell us a little bit about what were some of your most memorable and favorite experiences about African Mystery School without revealing too much of the mystery for those that may be joining us.
So I feel like the way the container was held for me, I mean, welcoming, but the village aspect, there's something about that felt really both new in my experience and also just very comforting, very just held in a really deeply beautiful way. I feel like every single teacher that I met, that I felt very blessed to know them, to see their medicine and their magic and to receive that. And just to, really see the transmissions of these people, like the teachers in the world, you know, and really feeling the richness and the medicine that everyone who came to the table, whether it was as a teacher or a support person, I felt was really doing their own work, very, very, very accomplished and studied, and just impressed me on so many levels. I felt very well held in the arms of women who are doing tremendous work in the world.
Of course, thank you.
And also the sharing of the fellow participants.
Yeah.
I feel like every time there was a group share, I was moved to the core, really heard stories that I never would have heard if I weren't in this particular group of people, experiencing their healing and having the experience of being moved that deeply and feel a shared sense of healing virtually, which was a new experience for all of us, really, and easy to to not necessarily feel the depth of connection, but I just felt like the vulnerability, the truth that people came to the table with, their willingness to share open and honestly, was profoundly important and integral to this experience for me.
Marcos, yeah, I would definitely have to agree. The sisters and brother in African Mystery School, they definitely made Ubuntu Village, our private community. They gave to it in a way that created something really magical and special, because it really, to do this work, it requires vulnerability from not just the instructors, but those that are receiving. And, you know, you all also collectively were facilitators as well, you know, in your own right and in your own way. You all led the process because you all opened up your heart so much. Your heart space was definitely open, and it was palpable, and it created such a special magical container, that I know will continue even past, the ending point. I know that people have really made relationships that I feel will go on way beyond African Mystery School. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And just the last question that I have for you, that I've been asking, especially being that I've known you for so long, and seeing you go through your own different transformations now, becoming mother. When I met you, you were, just a single woman, and now you're wife, mother, like all of these new roles and initiations you've taken on in your life. So thinking of all of the different initiations and rites of passage you went on in your own life outside of this, who you were when you started a year ago to who you are now, having completed basically a year-long process in African Mystery School, who would you say you are now as the woman, Amy Dawn?
That's feels challenging to answer, but I do know that where I have come in my journey is definitely a place of a whole lot more peace with what is in my life. I came in still healing from a miscarriage that I had had. And that was really, that in itself is a rite of passage. And had a lot of wound around that, and having wanted to become, have another child. And I feel like I've come through just very much at peace with just what is, what I have, having another child, not having another child, that attachment has really lifted. It's shifted a lot, which definitely feels more peaceful, more at ease. So that was a big piece that I hadn't let go of when I came to the mystery school. Yeah, that's probably the one that speaks to me the most right now. I'm sure there are more. I think that it's unfolding, and I had asked you for the questions beforehand because I feel like it was such a it was a big experience that I am not sure how it's integrated. And there have been, other things in my life that have been swirling around that have been part of just the growth that's happened in the last year. And so sometimes it's hard to really see, like, you said earlier about, oh yeah, we were working together and there was this, these rituals that I was doing, and I had kind of forgotten all of that. And healing sexual trauma from my matrilineal line was part of the journey this year. Yeah. And I feel like I definitely feel more free. I definitely feel more connected to my ancestors and my ancestry. And that's a whole journey right there, isn't it? Like, that will just take your life and move it in a completely different direction. And I think that as I'm on that path, and I am really every day learning how to live in honor of my ancestors and in communication with my ancestors as much as possible, something I'm still really working on. That it has taken me down roads and that I had never imagined, and feeling joy and feeling celebration and feeling like I'm living for them in a way that I never imagined, like my joy is their joy. And so my life, like, I feel like I'm a woman who lives a much richer existence,
Mm,
having that connection and those connections.
Marcos.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing that. 'Cause yes, I do remember. It's been a lot happening for me this
Mhm.
year as well. But yes, I definitely do remember prior to African Mystery School starting, us working together closely around some of those things, and just seeing how that opened up and was a doorway, you know, to join and do this rites of passage. And that's really why, one of the big reasons why I was really led to create this and to bring so many other priestesses together, to add their offerings, because I was finding, in working with individuals in doing bone readings and sessions in that way, the different things that they were needing. And just because you can do things doesn't mean you always should. And I wanted to find the best individuals and spirits to be able to hold certain things that, yes, I could have taught myself, but I felt like it would have been more powerful in seeing a group of women coming together and doing it in this way. So for me, that was one of my best experiences, and really getting to experience priestesses coming together of all different walks of life, race, it didn't matter. We all were there on that love and heart vibration, wanting to really heal ourselves and our bloodlines, knowing that we were the daughters that were called forward to do that work. And I thank you for being one of the first, even though it's hard being the first, because that in of itself is a mystery, because I was also going through that process and learning what to introduce and what way to introduce and what would best support you all. So thank you for entrusting me in that. I appreciate it. It means so much.
Yeah, I definitely, if I haven't said it already, joined this because I really trust you. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure trusting you.
Marcos, thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you have any, like you said, you just gave him a last word, but I'll ask again. If you have a last word to share with anyone who might watch this video, what would be your final closing word before we close out?
I guess I would say that I felt really welcomed, and I felt very much, like full permission to be there and be myself
Mm-hmm.
in this space, which, I didn't know coming in, what it would be. So I really appreciate your embracing of all people who feel the call to show up, every bit, every person, every part of us.
Marcos, thank you so much, Amy Dawn, for sharing today. For those of you who are interested in joining the next African Mystery School, we begin in a few short weeks on September 20th. So please go to africanmysteryschool.com to learn more, and we will see you on the other side. Peace.